But typically on the way back, I'll stop in Wytheville and at that Starbucks there. Last 2 times, I've seen someone inside. I pulled around to the window. They don't wait on me. I'm like, hello?
Savage.
So I just have left. But this past week, so last Thursday, I'll make it quick. My battery ended up dying. I got it boosted, drove from Winchester back down to where I am, which was about an hour away. And then it died again. So I was like, wow, I've got to get this fixed because I get up at 3:30 in the morning and I don't want to have to deal with this in the morning. So at this time, it's about 7:55 p.m. So I get to actually Talitha's sister, Tawana, if you remember her from the old show, she called in.
Yep.
Mufasal was her name.
Mufasal, yep.
Yeah. So she doesn't live too far. She came, boosted my vehicle. And then I drove around trying to find a place where I could get a battery. Well, most places close now early. They don't close at the regular time. No place was open. No place at all. So I'm like, well, I can either come back to the apartment, sleep for a couple of hours, then call, roadside assistance and have them come boost me, or I can just go ahead and drive into work, sleep there, get up and get somebody to boost me in the morning. I'll just drive to the auto shop, get the battery, drive down to Wise. So all that goes according to plan, drive to work, get up the next morning, do my shift at the station, getting ready to go to Wise. I even get to leave early so I can get to the auto parts store. So on the same road that EBR was on, Lee Highway, my car goes down the road, and at the traffic light, I have to stop. My car dies. It won't crank back. So it won't crank back. I'm sitting there about an hour and a half. Police come there, put flares around me, but no one wants to get out because they've got like masks on. So they're rolling down. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. So they call a tow truck. But if the tow truck that I call gets there, I don't have to pay because it's on my insurance. Mm-hmm. One that they call will probably be $200 to $300. So that one comes first. I'm like, listen, man, sorry for your trouble. My guy's coming. And he got kind of snippy with me. I don't know. I can't remember what he said, but he just kind of mumbled something. Luckily, my guy came like 2 or 3 minutes later, took me up there, got the battery. After I had to sit in this auto parts store, there's a picture that I'll show people really quickly. It's from the other day. It's from sitting in the store. And I didn't have the mask of this in there with me, but that's the picture, if people can see. I'm just sitting in there for over an hour like this, just like this. And luckily it gets fixed. But I do eventually get to Wise, $300 lighter in my wallet, and 3.5 hours later than normal. So I pull in there about 10:30 at night, $298.86 later. So that was my week.
Well, that sounds like you had a fun and interesting.
Yeah, and then the time down there went by quickly. Always quickly.
Always does. What do you? So before we switch topics, real quick, because I'm just curious about this. What do you miss most now that we are in self-isolation? What's like that one thing that you're like, oh, I wish I could get that right now? Could be anything.
Well, it was almost like self-isolation in a way before this happened, except before when I lived, up here in different things. Up here in D.C., there was this bookstore that I would always go to 2 or 3 times a week. I would always go into it, check out new stuff. And that's what I miss most about being up here in this region. Because in all honesty, I didn't really go out to eat up here. That's the only thing I really did. I would go by Starbucks. I'd go through the window, which I can still do now. But when I go back to Wise going to visit, I miss going to the park down there because they're closed. Shelly and I would go to a couple parks. Victoria and I would go out to eat quite often. We would visit some bookstores down there as well. I guess mainly that, because in filming, because we would never really have more than groups of 10, but some of the people that I film with, what if they're having contact with other people? So I don't really put myself around contact
Mm-hmm.
other than people that I've been around. That's it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess those would be the main things. What about, and like you said, you've not been out in a while or to the store, grocery store or anything like that. Um, I go, but I don't go. I try not to go up here in DC because there's too many people.
Yeah.
So even though there's not a lot of cases in the area that I live, there's still a lot more people than if I go to like the Family Dollar or something smaller down there when there's 8 people in the store anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I usually try to get. So sometimes I get a little bit hungry, or not that I don't have food, but it's the same food basically.
Yeah.
Like I've had chili 3 days in a row. And like I mainly had soups and things because of fruit. Is it safe to buy fruit? I don't know. So
Yeah.
I guess the variety of food as well. But when I do go back to Wise every weekend, I have my mother or Shelly or her mother or Victoria. Someone prepares me something, and I often bring it back. Now, this past weekend, I didn't get to, but typically I have something brought back, so it's not too bad.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, I've been craving Five Guys.
Yeah.
So I might do that a little bit later on, since I'm glad you told me the tip about heating up in the microwave, because I'll definitely do that.
Yep. Take it out, all the packaging, throw all that stuff away, wash your hands, heat it up in the microwave.
Yes, and I've washed my hands. I always did wash my hands, but I wash them more now than I think I ever had. They're constantly dry now.
Yep. That's good.
So, yeah. So now there was this SNL Corona special that was on this past weekend, and you said you didn't get to watch this.
So I dug out an old college once sports ended, I dug out an old college basketball Xbox game.
Yeah.
And every single night I just play that because I'm trying to create a dynasty, and that has cut back on my viewing of television, especially since not much television has been coming out. So I have not watched the special, which I've actually been keeping up with SNL this last couple of years. But I watched the introduction, which I thought that was really cool, like the intro video. And then I watched the
opening, the
opening credits.
That was really cool. I did watch that as well. That was really cool.
And then the Tom Hanks cold open, or not cold open, but the monologue. I watched those two, which I liked it.
With the fake applause.
Yes. I know, but I love it. I'm like, if I've only heard good things about it, but I'm like, if this works, why not every year just do one throwback to a self-isolation show?
Yeah.
Why not? We show that it works.